So it's been a couple of hours since I recorded my last review. So I just rewatched. So hey guys, it's Movie Fan 23, and
Sterlin
yeah, we've been
Rivera.
talking. Dude, I'd say this is one of the longest calls we've had in a while.
Fuck yeah, man.
Well, obviously, I think it's good because we really haven't video called much over the past like since really. Yeah. So anyway, I've rewatched Spring Breakers. I saw this movie back in 2018. I got it for Easter, on Easter. Oh, I actually got it on spring break. Um, is my fucking battery gonna die? Motherfucker. So, basically, I rewatched it, and guys, honestly, I was never really a big fan of this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, every woman in this movie, hot as fuck. Like, probably the only reason I really rewatched it, to be honest. Obviously, I want to refresh my memory for the review, but basically, plot of Spring Breakers. You got a group of girls, um, played by like group of friends, whatever. They want to go on spring break. You have one that's really religious, which is her name's Faith, played by Selena Gomez, and essentially they don't have enough money to go on spring break, so her friends end up going and robbing a fucking place and getting money so they can go on spring break. And they go on spring break and they fucking party. They party on beaches. They pour fucking alcohol on their titties. They fucking snort cocaine. They have sex with guys. They fucking snort cocaine off the titties. They do a bunch of fucking shit, illegal stuff. There's a guy named Alien, played by James Franco, who's a fucking scumbag in real life, and he's a fucking scumbag in this movie. And he's a rapper, and he has drugs and guns. And we find out more about what the robbery went down, but Selena Gomez wasn't part of that and she doesn't like it. Eventually, because they've been doing a lot of illegal shit, they end up all getting arrested and court, and they have to pay a certain amount of money. And the only reason they do that is by going and robbing some places, um, and shit like that. And James Franco says he can help out, and they party, do drugs, have sex. Alien, there's drug problems, and two of the other girls go on a bad path and even go to the point where they kill Alien and kill a bunch of other people. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna be fucking honest, right? I look amazing. I look so fucking hot right now. Anyway, no, I mean I do, but this movie, okay, okay, this movie is fucking awful. I'm sorry. I genuinely like okay. I like women. Okay, like I've made it clear and obvious that I'm into women, and yes, you know I'm young, dumb. No, I'm not dumb. I'm pretty smart. There's a lot of boobies in this movie, like like a lot of boobies. There's like I can't believe I'm saying there's almost too much. Like there's so many fucking shots of Spring Break. I know that's what happens on Spring Break. The movie's called fucking Spring Breakers, right? But there's close up of boobies and like fucking drink going on to boobies. There's sex scenes in the movie. Like there's a sex scene that like it's weird. Like they're fucking at the end, and then like the girl is licking a guy's toe, and I'm like, oh my god, did Tarantino request that? And then eventually, you know, I don't know. It just to me it felt like it was just over the top. You know, like okay, yeah, I get it. It's spring break. You see a lot of scenes that feel the same. They're partying on the beach. Then we kind of have footage as if it's from a video camera. Then there's shots of them smoking weed and go, "Oh, I love you guys. This is the best time ever. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so amazing. Oh my god." And they're in the pool and stuff. Then you have James Franco rapping, and it's honestly fucking cringe. You have scenes of them like doing handstands, jumping around, having like the best time. Really, they're like fucking guys and they're pouring drinks and snorting cocaine off each other. Um, there's a couple of robbery scenes, like we do see a scene like where they go in, like, oh, let's do this, and they go in and start fucking hammering shit and all that, and pretty much like, you know, we see the outside and we just hear music and they're like, oh, what did you do? Oh, we robbed the place and stuff, like, no, and Selena Gomez like, no fucking way, and all this. And honestly, Selena Gomez was the only likable character in this movie, because she is the only one you actually kind of felt bad for. Like, you can tell she's not the most comfortable. Like, at the beginning of the movie, you see her in shorts, you see her smoke, whatever, and she does get down and dirty and like laugh and stuff, and she writes to her mother and grandmother saying, oh, I'm having the best time, I know I probably should have told you that I was away, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah, you know, I'm having a great time with the girls. And, you know, she does do dirty stuff as well, like, you know, with the other girls, like they sing Britney Spears, you know, oh baby, they sing hit me baby one more time, hit me baby one more time, oh baby baby, how was I supposed to know? Yeah, that's a dirty scene. And then that's a scene where they're like, oh, so we got the money, we went in, we're like, get on the fucking ground, get on the fucking ground, get on the ground. And then we get a flashback to the scene that we saw with them robbing the place, from a different perspective. They go in, get on the fucking ground, get on the ground, like pointing guns and hitting people and stuff. And it's like, I know I'm kind of just describing what's happening, but what, like, why do I not like this movie? Okay, it feels like there's not, fucking, it's just Spring Break. That's all it is. I know it's called fucking Spring Breakers, but like, motherfucker, that's all the movie is Spring Break. And like, it's and it's not, I know I'm gonna probably get a lot of comments, no, that's not what the movie is, there's robberies, there's other stuff that go, I know, there's a drug plot, and I understand the drug plot is to make the movie more interesting, but the problem is, I don't like any of the characters. I fucking hated Alien. He was annoying. The only funny part of the movie was when he goes, Spring Break, and he's like, I'm gonna help you girls out. And that's after, like, that's literally after the scene where they're in court, and like, oh, you gotta pay this and stuff. And it's like, I'll help you girls out. And then he hangs out with the girls and makes them kiss and all this other shit. And it honestly felt like a porno movie at times. Like, I understand this is the type of shit that happens on Spring Break, okay? There's girls fucking, there's girls shaking their asses, there's guys fucking, and they're, you know, the girls kiss each other and they get high and they're smoking and they're blowing it into each other's mouth. And they're like squirting the gun. There's a scene where they put a gun in their mouth and they squirt the water. Yeah, same. I just farted. And, like, you know, so we have all that. There's a scene where, like, they're playing pool and they're trying to find money, and Selena Gomez starts breaking down and she's like, oh my god, like, I just want to go home, it's horrible, and then they say goodbye, like, we don't want you to go home and all that. And then she gets on the bus or whatever, and then we see the rest of them stay over, and just, the movie gets really fucked up then, and you know what I mean? Like, they go in, they rob more places, then there's the scene where, like, James Franco fucking, plays the piano, and then they're singing and all, and they have the guns. You have the final scene where the girls are on the speedboat with James Franco, and they shoot a bunch of motherfuckers, they shoot people in the shower, there's like, they go through and shoot a bunch of people, then they end up shooting James Franco and killing him. And they play the same fucking narration that was, like, everyone here is so nice. They play that again. There's literally a scene where, I'm not even joking, James Franco says, you girl, like he says the same dialogue over and over and over again in the same fucking scene, and it's cutting back and forth, and like, that's my problem. Most of this movie is just cutting to different, like, there's too many fucking cuts. Like, cutting to James Franco saying a certain thing and smoking and like fucking, oh, you girls gonna get in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Oh, you girls gonna get in a lot of trouble. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And it's like asking the same question over and over again. I'm like, dude, seriously? And then you have like fucking Um, like, okay, I kind of know I'm saying what I don't like. I don't like to me. I know the movie has a plot, like it does, but it felt like it didn't. Like I know that sounds weird, right? But that's my biggest problem with the movie. I just couldn't get into it. I really think I just couldn't get into it, and I like Vanessa Hudgens was hot as fuck in this movie. Like, there's a scene where she's putting a gun in her mouth like that, and like she's like, "You like that money? Oh yeah." And then they're like, there's this really weird fetish scene, kind of like where they're like, "Oh, you like that, you little bitch," and they're putting the gun into James Franco's mouth and stuff. And then like James Franco's getting to know, I was like, "I grew up here, motherfucker." But like, I just hated his fucking character. He was saying the N word at one point as well, and I was like, dude, fuck you. I know, like, and like, oh, this is how expensive I am. I got these teeth. Like, shut the fuck up. And then there's the part where he's playing the piano and he's pointing the gun and he's like, one little girl, and he's singing that fucking song, and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. He was annoying as shit in this movie. Like, okay, it was a good performance, I have to say, because he got into the character. He was crazy, you know. There's the scene where they're driving in the car. There's the scene where he's trying to calm Selena Gomez down, and he's like, "I'm not gonna let anything happen to you." But it's just like, I just couldn't get into the movie. I couldn't get into the movie. Um, I like there is a line where like they're making money, and Vanessa Hudgens' character goes, "Oh, this is making my pussy so wet," and like honestly, the movie, like, I like dirty humor, right? And like, don't get me wrong, when she said that line, like, I wanted to marry her. Like, she's hot as fuck in this movie. But the problem is, the movie's almost too graphic for me. Like in terms of the dialogue, it's just a scummy vibe. Like, I don't know. It's very grimy. Like I feel like as well, it's style over substance. Like, it's a very well made movie. Like, it's shot very well. It visually looks nice with the red and pink colors and stuff. And the pink mask and machine guns and stuff is great, but I wasn't a fan of it. And then there's the part where James Franco's like, "I got these machine guns, I got these shotguns, I got these. I'm a big fan of Scarface. Oh, there's Al Pacino poster. Oh God." I'm like, dude, I'd rather be watching Scarface than this fucking movie. Um, Coincidentally, I was boring. You know, it's the same spring break shit that we see in any other movie related to that. There's a scene. A lot of the scenes felt the fucking same. Like, you've James Franco mumbling or high on drugs. They're taking drugs. They're smoking weed. They're doing coke. Um, there's a part where one of the other girls wants to go home and rings, and it's like, "I want to go," and then she goes home, and then literally on the bus again, and you see her naked in the shower and her ass, and like there's a part where James Franco's like fucking the two girls in the bathtub, and then they're fucking, and he at home, and he's making in the house and making them kiss. And honestly, the part where he's making them both kiss reminded me of Wild Things, which is a better fucking movie than this. And then the other thing is other girls like, "Oh, I want to go home, you know, I'm gonna be right, mom," or whatever, you know. And they're like, "Oh, fuck school." They're in the swimming pool, and they're like, "Oh, school's starting up soon, we gotta go home." It's just like, I just can't sympathize with these bitches. I didn't like Alien. He was an annoying character. They show aliens and all that. I thought, like not the movie, but like Alien in his like apartment. There's also his introduction. "My name is Alien because I'm not from this world, y'all." And he appears early in the movie, but it's not till 40 minutes in till he's like properly there, and he has the guns. There's so many scenes of them like, you know, loading the guns up and shooting stuff, and then there's the guys are getting the guns ready, and he's holding a fucking baby. You know, it's like, it's coming in my baby and all this stuff. No, I have my baby, or I don't fucking know. And then there's the part where they're in the fucking car, and it's like, "What's your fucking problem?" And they're arguing in nightclubs and stuff, like, "What the fuck you doing here?" And they have the guns and shit. And then there's the part where they're both driving past each other on the streets, and he's like, "Bitches, do you want to die today?" And I'm like, oh my God. And then it cuts to the girl's been shot in the fucking arm. Like, a lot of ex-Disney stars are in this movie, and you put them in the most R-rated fucking film ever, which I'm not complaining about. Like, I think some of the blood and the guns and effects are good, but there's a lot of stuff we've seen in other movies, like like pimped motherfuckers, and James Franco's talking like, "What the fuck you doing?" and all this shit. Um, in the nightclub scenes, and they're doing drugs, and just there's these rough motherfuckers that he's doing deals with, and it's just taking money so they can pay the bail. And the first half, that's the second half of the movie, whereas the first half of the movie is literally just them enjoying spring break, doing illegal shit, partying with guys, girls getting her titties out, and one girl, like this chick, gets her tits out loads, and there's war, and there's just like the first shot is of a spring break happening, and is of titties, and you're getting ready for the characters, and you're getting introduced to the characters. But Harmony Korine, I've heard of his other movies. A couple of people in my college have actually talked about him and said that there are movies that he's made that seem a little bit weird. Like, this is a weird fucking movie, and I just couldn't get into it, guys, honestly. That's the reason I don't like it. Like, people are probably going to tell me to elaborate more. Guys, like, look, that's, by the way, feel free. Like, you don't have to agree with me, by the way. Like, but I just, yeah, like it just, I can't get into the characters. They all felt slutty. They felt very one dimensional. Like first of all, they're all bitchy, except for Selena Gomez, who you feel bad for, and she gets anxious. Like, oh my god, what did we just do? And you feel bad for her character throughout the movie, and she honestly has a sweetness to her, and she's fucking gorgeous. And she sits on scene, and the girls making out with the guys, and the girls making out with each other, and there's a lot of lesbian scenes, which I'm not complaining about. Like, it's hot, but like, that's all the movie felt like. And I remember when I first got this, right, I hadn't heard of it, and I thought it was going to be a comedy, but it's not a fucking comedy. It's like a drama. There's moments of comedy, but it's a drama. There's times where he goes, spring break, and I mean, James Franco did put his heart and soul into this character. But as I said, I just couldn't get into this movie. And